They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Hello and welcome to the Outdoor Farmer's Kitchen, which is not in use today.
That's right.
Because we're going downtown Frankfort.
Yay!
We're gonna visit with a bakery and Beth Carter, who makes excellent, wonderful goodies.
She does.
Everything she makes is magic.
Yes.
She's had a lot of experience over the years. So let's go to downtown Frankfort and visit with Beth and see what she's gonna cook up. We're in Frankfort with Beth Carter. She's on the corner, you know where she is, you know who she is, you can smell it when you walk by.
Yes.
As we sit here and I look down, I see chocolate, I see eggs, I see pudding, I see all kinds of lovely stuff. But first, I don't know if we've ever gone into your resume. You have the most interesting past. If you will, tell us how you got into this business.
I was older and I went through some life changes and needed to decide what I was going to do with my life as a 40-something-year-old.
That's older?
Well, you know, back in the day, it felt older. But anyway, so I decided with the coaxing of my grandmother to go to culinary school. And I did. I was the only woman in a class full of men. Anyway, I always said with the guys I had to scream louder and kick harder, but I did it and then was offered this incredible opportunity to go to Italy and live for a summer there. And that's what I think opened up all the opportunities that I had after that.
You worked for a racing outfit.
I did, Le Mans Racing, yes. I worked for an incredible caterer. She's a German woman that lives in the States. And so I traveled around with her outfit with the American Series with Le Mans and worked summers in France for her. So it's really cool.
That's kind of cool. Then the Pioneer Lady.
Yes, I got a call from Food Network. They asked actually my culinary school to send them someone who could be the set caterer on the ranch, and that was me. And so I left and did that for a while.
So you have quite the background.
I do have a background.
I know whatever you do today is going to be amazing, and it does involve chocolate.
It does involve chocolate, and it's kind of a scary Christmas dessert for most people, but I'm going to debunk that. I'm going to show you that's not so scary to do what we're going to do today.
And it's called?
Buche de Noel.
Which means, roughly?
A Christmas log.
A Yule log, per se?
A Yule log.
I like
yes.
that.
So we're going to get started. We're going to make the sponge cake first. So we're going to, we've pre-measured 3/4 cup of AP flour, 1/3 of a cup of cocoa. We're going to dump that into the bowl. Now look at these. Did your grandmother have a set of these?
Yes, we still got some of those.
I only use these. These are the best. So we're going to put in a teaspoon of baking powder. Baking powder and baking soda help crisp up and smooth out or help keep intact a cookie or a cake or something that you're baking. We have got a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So those are our dry ingredients. And we're going to add to it 4 large egg yolks. Well, actually, hold on a second.
Dude, I almost,
You right? We're gonna yes. Oops. Sorry about that. We're gonna use another separate bowl and put our wet ingredients in. So there we go. Sorry about that.
No,
we're gonna start with 4 egg yolks.
Notice how I pull back?
Yes,
I saw
you
the
did
look
good.
on your face. So these in here.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. There we go.
All right.
And we're gonna add 3/4 of a cup of sugar.
All right.
That's how it would be in a real kitchen at home.
I recognize that. Like Nikki has the same one. Like, no, you didn't
Stop.
say anything, but
Right.
I saw it in your
I
eyes.
needed to pull the bowl over. You're right. So we're going to whisk these two things together: the egg yolks and the sugar. Then we're going to add in the half cup of melted butter.
All right. Everything needs butter.
And then we're going to add in pudding and vanilla.
Is that just vanilla pudding?
It kind of helps your cake stay moist and sponge-like. We're mixing all this up. And now we're going to add it to our dry ingredients, or add our dry ingredients to this. We're going to reverse this this time.
I'm being very careful. I don't want to mess this up.
That was great. We needed a dun dun dun. We're going to whisk this till it's incorporated.
Oh, look at that, the smell.
And the smell. We're now going to beat some egg whites until they form stiff peaks.
And beat them silly.
Right? We're going to take about 1/3 of a cup of these egg whites that we beat until they have stiff peaks. And this
You showed them.
Right, I did. So this helps loosen up the chocolate in
interesting.
the batter. See how that did that? It released it. And then we're going to fold in the rest. So this is our batter. Now we're going to use a half sheet pan, as we call it. Spray really well. And we're going to put a piece of parchment paper on here. I spray the parchment paper too, so that it'll release itself, the batter, once it's a cake, will release itself off of the paper. So we're going to spread this out. All right, we try to spread as evenly as we can. This just goes in
Just
your
like
oven. 350 for 12 minutes.
Let me open the door?
Sure.
I'm good for something.
You are good for something. There you go. And here's what it looks like when it comes out.
Very nice.
Ready to roll. So now we're going to add our Bee's famous cream. You could use buttercream icing. You could use store-bought icing.
But this is Beth's top secret.
This is top secret cream.
Oh my. So what would you say the thickness on this? Are you going to put all of that in there?
No, not all. Well, we can.
What are you thinking? 3/4 of an inch?
Yeah,
Half
I
an
would
inch?
say that's what makes it. We need it to form a larger log than what the cake does on its own. So the easiest way to do that is let your parchment paper help you, and just kind of hold it up like this, and let it
gravity work?
Let it fall. Yep.
Oh my.
Okay. There we go. So I'm going to grab a new piece of parchment paper. So now we're going to just take, this is chocolate buttercream.
Oh.
So we made our regular buttercream and added cocoa powder to it. And at home, what you probably need to do is put this in the freezer to let it harden up. Yes, our buttercream is so thick, it could actually rip. So you want to put this on, buttercream on, a little more uneven than you normally would, because
it already looks like bark.
Right, it already looks like bark. This, a fork, is what makes all the beautiful ridges in your log. So if you just kind of do like this.
That looks like wood.
It does, doesn't it? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put it on our platter and add some decorations. So I pre-made some little gingerbread cookies, like a tree, and a reindeer. And in your case, you'd have to let it go.
No, I wouldn't. I would eat it too.
Right. We decorate these at the bakery here with royal icing or buttercream. And so, like with our trees, we want to maybe put some snow on the branches.
That's cool.
And then we always cover our gingerbread decorations with sugar. You can use greenery from your backyard or the farm to decorate. This is kind of the pretty stuff. And we'll put a few on top. And then you can take your little gingerbread, you can add a little tree and a little deer, maybe do another one. So we want to add some berries. But the final touch is powdered sugar.
A dusting of snow.
That's the snow. So shall we cut it?
All right, look, this, I almost feel bad about destroying the integrity of this beautiful log, but then again, I only had a ham sandwich today.
That's right, so let's do it. You probably want to use a serrated knife.
Oh my.
There you go. well, I should have done a better cut, but you can see how pretty it is once you cut into it.
Oh, wow.
As far as the roll goes.
Oh, Mom.
Good stuff.
Well, we know you're amazing, but we didn't know you're that daggone cool.
Well, hopefully, you're welcome.
Thank you so
and
much.
hopefully somebody will try this out there.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Recently, we had our 27th Christmas show that we've done over the years.
I'm only 26. How are you doing that? I know.
You're 27.
Okay.
So, over the years, with the various shows that we've done, this is our 27th one.
Wow.
A lot of our folks came to see this show. A lot of our friends out there came to watch this Christmas show.
did.
Some wonderful music. And first up is Sarah Beth Terry, one of the most talented people I've ever met. She's going to sing first, and later next week there'll be some more music coming your way. But let's listen to Sarah Beth right now.
Sweet little Jesus boy, born in a manger. Sweet little holy child, didn't know who you were. Long time ago it seems you were born in a manger, Lord. Didn't know who you were. Didn't know you'd come to save us all, take our sins away. Our eyes were blind, we could not see. We didn't know who you were. You have shown us how, and we've been trying, Master. You have shown us how, even as you died. This world treats you mean, Lord, treats me mean too. But that's how things are done down here. We didn't know it was you. Didn't know you'd come to save us all, to take our sins away. Our eyes were blind, we could not see. We didn't know who you were. Thank you so much.
'Tis the season.
Yes, it is.
You made me blow the Christmas horn so
I
you can
did.
put up all your Christmas stuff.
And I'm happy.
And I'm kind of happy too.
I know you love it.
This is something that we've been doing for years. This is a Christmas tradition. It's a beautiful story about a son and his father and how they spent Christmas one year. It's called Kogan's Woods.
When I was young, it happened every year. I waited for it, felt I could not live without it, and was never disappointed. It was always in August at the edge of dawn, and when it had rained in the night, the fog drifted up from the low places beside the road. My father threaded the old white Mercury through the twists and turns of the Cumberland River Road as we listened to the weather report coming up from a station in Cincinnati. We always hoped for wet weather, for a soft, steady rain to soak the woods and soften the paths we would soon be traveling in Kogan's Woods.
This fellow right here, Ron Ellis, wrote a book called Kogan's Woods. Somebody gave it to me years ago, said, you gotta read this. So I climbed up in a tree stand and I started reading this book.
Yeah.
I thought, man, oh man. Anybody who's ever hunted with a relative, or especially your father, squirrel hunted back in the day when that's all we had going on,
Yeah.
it's have-to reading.
The taking of the gear from the trunk was done with a great deal of ceremony. Dad poured himself another cup of coffee from the thermos, lit a cigarette, and then stood quietly for a few minutes just studying the darkness and listening. Though I was close by, I suspect he was, during those brief moments, very much alone with his memories and with familiar sounds and voices I could not hear. We spent some time loading our vests with shells, green Remingtons for me and Blue Peter's holes for Dad. Dad finished his last cup of coffee and another cigarette as we stood there in the dark. We traded shotgun shells without fail before going into the woods on every hunt. It was a good luck ritual, a wish for a successful and safe hunt. We placed the good luck shells, which is what Dad called them, into the magazines of the 410s and pumped them into the chambers, the little guns clicking and throwing metallic echoes in the hills that came back to us in the dark. And then, and only then, we were ready.
This guy was sitting on a stump, Belden County Fox.
Belden County Fox. Isn't he beautiful?
Look what now that's what you waited for all night.
Oh, absolutely. Look at his feet. I'm looking for your shell. When my dad died, left in his hunting gear, he left a box called keepsake shells, and inside these boxes, marked as such, were all of these shotgun shells, which meant something to him and he knew would mean something to me. And he would write a note about the day and date it and say what we had killed or seen or what we hadn't killed or if we had any shots at all. But he would roll them and take the shotgun shell that meant something, and he would place it inside of the shell like such. And this one he just decided he would put in here by itself. It's flattened out, and we'll just, would you like to read it?
Can I?
Sure. Why don't you read it?
Okay. This is from George Ellis. This is an honor, by the way.
Well,
Especially after reading
he'd be
that.
honored to know that you were reading it. He loved Kentucky, a field, and happy hunting ground.
He says, my best day, underlined, September 4th, 1988. Hunting alone using Remington Model 1100 Auto in 28 gauge. Also using new 28 gauge load, Federal Premium number 6. And it says, large, very tall pig nut near Warline fence. 6 shots.
Waste one.
Waste one.
He always said that. Waste one, you know.
And 6 grays. He got the limit. Left 2 in the tree, still cutting.
Yeah.
He walked to the warline point with an empty gun, picked up the green 12 gauge shell. Somebody else, he's picking up somebody else's
shell.
He says, there, red letter day. George E. Ellis. left you things. He left you clues. He left you timepieces. He left you time capsules, you might say.
He did.
And you're still finding those today.
I am. If he wrote about it, it was an important day for him.
Your dad was an unreal kind of guy who left memories for his kids. And I hope that my kids have those kind of memories from me.
There it is.
There it is.
Now you know what he'd say. Put a note in it so that you always remember.
And he
This
would.
is an important day.
Yeah.
You know, his gun, he was a great squirrel hunter, loved squirrel hunter, and he would have thought the world of you.
Can I keep that?
It's your shell. Put a note in it.
I will.
Okay.
I certainly will.
Yeah. With his shotgun cradled in his left arm, Dad started back down the path, snow building on the shoulders of his hunting coat and the curled brim of his faded green Jones cap. The light was dim, and it was quiet enough that I could hear the click of his Zippo lighter as he walked away from me. I saw a flame move toward a cedar to his right, and then a little flame flickered within the webby green darkness of the cedar limbs. In seconds, several more tiny flames were flickering there. Then Dad moved to his left, and more tiny flames appeared in the tree limbs on that side of the trail. Before he was done, he had passed down through those cedars and lit 100 or more white candles that he had placed in the branches on both sides of the trail while I was off hunting. The entire thicket was illuminated with white candlelight, and more snow was coming down. The whole place looked very much like the inside of one of those glass balls you shake to make it snow, and then the snow settles down on a Currier and Ives Christmas scene. And there was Dad, standing at the far end of the lighted tunnel with a big smile on his face. "Merry Christmas, son," he yelled. And then he walked back through the candlelit cedar trees and stood next to me on the ridge in the gathering dark. "I always wanted to do this up here all of my life," he said. "This place has always felt more like Christmas to me than any place I've ever been. There's just something about the way the hills roll and the way the light comes in here in the evening. It gets all stained with the color of these cedars." August 21, 1965. Second squirrel of 2, killed on ridge at log site using the Winchester Model 42.
Ron with me on hunt. He got 1. This shell, good old blue, a Peters number 6, first one used from a box purchased on a trip to Ball Knob, Arkansas. Young gray leaving hickory tree after I had killed 1. Lovely morning and a lot of fog.
With him whispering to me out of the dark in a soft, comforting voice, suddenly I was 12 years old again. As we waited together on daybreak in Kogan's woods, I remembered that he said, "It's important to remember, son. It's
so important to remember."
Now, Ms. Farmer, somebody came up to you and said, "How in the world would we get those recipes?" What would you say?
I'd say timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
I've been there. I saw some stuff on there. We had gabillions of recipes. And
Yes.
if you want to visit our Facebook page and become a friend on there, how would you do that? Is it difficult?
It's very difficult. You hit like.
Oh, that's pretty easy. It's the holiday season,
That's
so
right.
expect some more holiday stuff from our show, and we'll see you next week with a brand new Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. Do you want to sing me a song?
I think you should sing.
I think Kelly should sing. She says no. See you next week. We have been catering for a lot of years, and I wanted everything to have a specific taste. Therefore, I had to come up with my own products.
Right.
A dry rub, chow chow, and our barbecue sauce are something that we use in all our catering gigs. I developed this barbecue sauce that is not the really thick, syrupy stuff that you get. This has more of a natural, it's got some pepper and onion flavor in it. You can actually see the particulates in there. You know, a lot of people are asking what we use our dry rub on. Now, obviously, pork and chicken are two of the more common things. Also, we've been using on our corn on the cob with butter.
That is.
I'm telling you, this
That's
stuff
wonderful.
with potatoes is fantastic. So 40 years in the making, Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen Dry Rub.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Emerson Farms Country Store. Something for every member of the family. Ephraim McDowell Medical Center in Danville, Kentucky. Gulf Coast Connection. Seafood straight from the Gulf to you. The Spine Center of Central Kentucky. Wilderness Road Hospitality, Stanford, Kentucky. Visit Frankfort, Kentucky's spirited capital city.